Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Boisterous coming to you with some Unranked League action from Heart of the Swarm. Yes, that is right, ladies and gentlemen. It is out, and I'm sure most of you already know. I have my fancy Collector's Edition mouse pad that's way better than my last mouse pad. So my mouse movements can actually be precise, and I can choose where to move it, and it's going to be awesome. So anyway, we have Malakek spawning down here in the bottom left-hand corner as the red Zerg. Up here in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent, iconic ShadowWraith, as the blue Zerg. And oh my god, I'm so excited for Heart of the Swarm. And since Heart of the Swarm just came out, that was basically a hard reset for my catalog of games. So if you have a game that you want commentated, be sure to send it in to me at boisteroussc2@gmail.com. You know, if you send them in today, tomorrow, Friday, they'll all be done within like 2 weeks, because I had to clear out all of my games, all my backlog from Wings of Liberty, because I plan on moving full on into Heart of the Swarm. As far as my Brutal playthrough goes, I don't think I'm going to be doing a Let's Play on Brutal. I did the first 4 missions on Brutal and like recorded it. And then I kind of finished the rest of the campaign on Brutal and didn't record it. And honestly, playing on Brutal is tedious. I mean, it's not fun to watch, I don't think. Because it's a lot, like, and I'm sure plenty of you that have played on Brutal know this, but it's a lot of literally just sitting back and going like, okay, I need a 200 army to finish this mission. Better wait until 40 minutes. So like all my mission times are in between like 30 and 40 minutes just because there's no way to do it faster. So instead, and this is kind of just a funny thing I want to do, I'm going to do a playthrough where I use only Kerrigan to attack. Only Kerrigan. Alright, Kerrigan's kind of a badass, and I'm going to go full-on offensive Kerrigan, and she's going to be my only attacking unit. And I think that's an awful idea, but it's definitely an idea I want to try, because Baneling bombs are so fucking fun. Oh my god. That's probably my favorite ability in the entire campaign. Get those like split Banelings, and then just be like, Baneling bomb! And then just they explode on everything. It's amazing. So anyway, we have both of our players going for very standard builds. I mean, ZVZ hasn't changed much with the transition into Heart of the Swarm. It's still by and far the same matchup. And we see Malakek going for a very, very defensive build. The Spinecrawler in the main base. Well, ShadowWraith, even though he has no idea that happened, he is going for the fast expand and completely capitalizing on his opponent's cautiousness. And I mean, Whirlwind is a map that's been in the GSL for a long time, but this is the first time it's actually been in ladder play, and honestly, I think it is a fantastic map. I love Whirlwind, and it's something that not a lot of people have seen. I mean, it's a very unique map. The third bases are both very awkward, and they're very much almost the exact same base, just based completely on the opposite side of you. If you take this base, you know, okay, so for example, the blue Zerg currently in this matchup, probably going to take this base as his third. And then, I'm guessing he's going to take this base as his fourth, but I could definitely see people just expanding out along the top. It would be weird, though. And that's primarily because, you know, with this rock blocking off half the ramp, this ramp is quite easily defendable. And you know, you never want to expand towards your opponent, because it's very much based on where your opponent is, and that's going to be just how this map works, and it's going to be very cool. Like, you're never going to see somebody take, like, this base against an opponent that's stationed up here in the north. You're never, ever going to see that, because that would be, like, frightening as hell. Oh. They're literally like 60 feet away from their main base. Or you would literally be like 60 feet away from their main base, and that is not what you want at all. It looks like we do have Spinecrawlers going down all over the place for ShadowWraith. Both of our players really do not want to lose to any sort of silly cheese, which I guess makes sense, because whenever you transition into something where a lot of new strategies are getting worked out and a lot of people are doing experimental builds, you will see a lot of people be scumbags and absolutely cheese. I am guilty of this. I am absolutely one of those players that, you know, during a time where like transitional builds are happening, I'll just 6-pull you. because players are going to be going for very interesting timings and very awkward things, and they might or they might not work, and you're just trying to figure that out. And literally, if you just do the tried and true timing attacks, you will win every single game. It'll be hilarious. Just trust me on that. Literally, just do a couple of regular timing attacks today from Wings of Liberty that strike before any of the new HotS units come out, because there's no real low-tier HotS units, or there's no real low-tier changes in HotS. So you can kind of just come out of nowhere and absolutely rail an opponent. The only person I would say, the only race you can't really do that against is Terran, because Terran with their Hellbats is a little bit more interesting. We do have a lot of Zerglings coming up here, and this is what I'm talking about, this absolute timing, where you just kind of build up a ton of Zerglings, and they just do a massive run-by into your opponent's base. And these Zerglings are going to absolutely ravage the drone count. Let's just go ahead and open up the worker skill tab. He's up to 6, 7, 9, 11, 12. Ooh, so many drones going down. All the drones in the main base are going to be dying here. And that is 22 drones killed. And that is the amount of damage you can do. And see, ShadowWraith even proving my point just a little bit further with how players completely forget about units like Lings. For example, ShadowWraith did not even get Metabolic Boost, what most people would call a pretty freaking important upgrade. I mean, Metabolic Boost is kind of like a standard, like you get it every fucking time you play the game upgrade. And ShadowWraith, because, he's probably going to be going for some sort of interesting strategy, I would expect Swarm Hosts, I would expect Vipers, I would expect cool stuff out of the Heart of the Swarm players. But you need to be sure to not leave yourself open to those massive timing attacks. I love these unbuildable bricks, because they don't get covered by creep either. They don't care. They're literally just bricks, and the creep goes under them instead of just going over them, which doesn't make any sense, because on these other bricks, the creep doesn't go under them. It goes over them and covers them up. But not for these. Those bricks are special. Anyway, we do have another Zergling run-by going by into the main base. However, this Zergling run-by will not do nearly the same amount of damage. There are plenty of Zerglings there to catch it. It's still going to be significant, especially because ShadowWraith didn't pull his drones out, and that was kind of a poor decision-making on ShadowWraith's part. But then again, Malakek, he shouldn't have gone for that second one. He should have expanded as he sent out his first kind of drop, or first Ling run-by, and then he should have just stayed back and, built up an economy, because he would be far and way ahead of his opponent right now. And currently he's only 8 drones ahead, and those 8 drones are all in the resources for ShadowWraith. So we're going to see a lot of drones coming out, and there's 9. It looks like Zerg attacks are coming up for Malakek, level 2 in fact, and that's interesting. He is absolutely going for all any type play here. I mean, this is a super duper late hatchery. He is definitely trying to do as much damage as possible. He's trying to win with these early attacks, and I just don't think it's going to be possible, because ShadowWraith knows what he's up against at this point. He's going to be playing more defensively. I wouldn't be surprised to see another couple Spine Crawlers go down. And these creep tumors should definitely be extending out right now. And that would be quite easily, because they go on ramps now. Creep tumors go on ramps. I know, it's awesome. And don't even get me started on the campaign. I just finished my brutal playthrough. That is an awesome campaign. No major spoilers, but that mission on the ice planet, where you're a larva on the Protoss ship, probably one of the most fun missions I've played in a StarCraft game. That was incredible, and I know it's it's one of the third missions into the game. You can either go to the ice planet or Char, and if you go to the ice planet, it's the third mission, and it's really awesome. I love it so much. Oh my god, it's just being a larva and kind of sneaking around inside this giant ship is absolutely amazingly fun, and going down vents and stuff. Oh man. Anyway, we have both of our players going for more of an economy-based build now. I mean, Malakek finally has his hatchery down. He's starting to produce drones, but they're not nearly in the numbers as ShadowWraith. In fact, ShadowWraith is already 17 drones ahead again. He lost 30 drones. He's made 72 drones this game, and his opponent has made 25. That is a crazy swing in the drone count. And ShadowWraith is absolutely going to benefit from him because he just has a solid defense right now, and he has those solid drones numbers that will be able to propel him into the late game. I'm kind of surprised to not see Malakek go for a second base and maybe a little bit of a contain and a stop on the third base of ShadowWraith, just because he has absolute map control at this point. I mean, ShadowWraith has no real way to move out. I mean, he's building up units now, but it's still not amazing, and we actually see tunneling claws coming out from Malakek. And oh my god, Malakek, are you gonna go for a tunneling claws attack? Oh, I really hope you do. That would be kind of hilarious. And there we do have them. We have the swarm hosts, ladies and gentlemen. This is exactly what I was talking about. Swarm hosts, I don't see them playing a huge putting in a huge part onto ZVZ, because all the units are so fucking fast. Every single unit is really fast. And swarm hosts are good at holding positions against units that will not be able to move in against them. And honestly, you can run in with Zerglings, pull the locusts, and then run away. And then in between the swarm hosts actually spawning locusts, you can just sprint on by. And it's not really that big. I mean, swarm hosts, they're good units, but they're not absolutely fantastic in this situation. And just as a pro tip for anybody that likes to play campaign, swarm hosts, generically in the campaign, don't have burrow. So don't lose all your swarm hosts because you thought they had burrow. They have like this root ability where they kind of just stick their legs in the ground, but they don't actually burrow. And I made the very foolish mistake of failing a mission like 3 times because I did not know why my swarm hosts were getting attacked. I had no idea. I was like, what the aren't these guys supposed to be burrowed? Aren't they supposed to be invisible? The guy doesn't have any detection. I mean, there's no overseer I can see. I don't understand. And then it was just like, oh, they have an ability called root, not burrow. Malakek has quite the strong army right now. +2 melee attacks and +1 ranged attack is kind of a lot of upgrades this early in the game, and that is very reflected in his drone count. I mean, he is by and far behind his opponent. He's like 20 drones down, which is not a position you want to be in, especially with ShadowWraith taking a very secret top right-hand expansion. And just to point out something that ShadowWraith is doing really wonderfully, he's being amazing with his injects. I mean, most players, I'm getting better with injects, but I'm still not anywhere near good. I mean, I would be way further out on energy with these injects. Like, I would be able to support 3 high trees with this queen for a little while. Like, definitely a little while. It looks like we do have the attack moving in from Malakek, and this is gonna be a strong push. However, with the swarm hosts, I don't think he'll be able to win the base. And there is the burrow on the swarm hosts, and all the locusts are coming out now. And this is kind of the issue with going swarm host, is that locusts are good, but they just don't stack up to things like roaches. And these locusts, I don't know why he's fighting these locusts. That is not a good idea. Here, we do have him, like, finally kind of backing off. No, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe he's just going to die to locusts, because, you know, why not die to free units? I mean, that's kind of the situation where you just make an overseer and you fly it up. Because if your opponent goes this heavily into swarm hosts, because this is a lot of money in swarm hosts. I mean, this is 14 swarm hosts at 200, 150 apiece. No, 200, 100. So this is like 2,800 minerals and 1,400 gas of swarm hosts. That's a crap ton of swarm hosts. That's a big. Oh my god! And he's making 13 more. All right, okay. ShadowWraith really wants to play with swarm hosts. You know, I mean, it's only very easy to ling run by on them, but he really wants to play with swarm hosts. That is something. I mean, especially with Malakek going for such an interestingly aggressive build, I would not go for swarm hosts against a guy like this, especially this many, because a lot of them are going to get sniped as soon as an overseer comes out, and there are 3 overseers currently on the field. I'm surprised Malakek actually made so many Zerglings. I would have expected a more solid reinforce on roaches, because roaches are just absolutely amazing. It looks like +2 ranged attack is going to finish up for Malakek. Maybe in time for this attack? No, not in time for this attack. He has like 35 seconds left on it. So he is going to be moving in here with his overseers, and there is going to be a little bit of an attack. The burrow is going down. A lot of locusts are just about to spawn. This is the part where he should pull back, and there we go. We do see the pulling back on the roaches. This is exactly what you want to do when you're facing off against locusts. And again, like, this is good because locusts, I mean, They're very good at area denial. The issue is that I don't know. I'm not sure if Swarm hosts are the right choice in a ZVZ because Malakek is going for a Nidus network right now, which is definitely the right choice versus Swarm hosts. I mean, without question, because Swarm hosts are just so freaking slow. Like, Swarm hosts are basically the new Hydralisk, or, well, the unupgraded Hydralisk. It looks like ShadowWraith is going to be going for Hydralisks, speak of the devil. So we might see some Hydralisk play coming out from ShadowWraith. We might have some speeded Hydras, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. The real advantage ShadowWraith right now has is completely in economy. I mean, it's 4 bases to 2. If we look at the drone count, it's an absolute slaughter. He's still 20 drones up. And there we do have the Locusts. They are going to be moving in on the opponent base. They are going to be making sure that everything is a-okay. And that grass gets really transparent when there's nothing looking at it. Or when there's something looking at it. Like, look at how transparent this glass is. That's insane. Like, I didn't even know it was there. It kind of just looked like part of the tile. And there are a lot of Locusts coming up at this point. Now, of course, these Locusts are absolutely nowhere near within range of getting to the base. I'm kind of surprised to see the fact that he isn't just moving his Swarm hosts up. However, I can understand the sentiment there. It looks like the Nidus network is done and the Hive is on the way. I wouldn't be surprised to see some very, very awesome Nidus play coming up extremely soon out of Malakek. ShadowWraith has an absolute bank right now, and he's done a very nice job of maxing out his larva everywhere. Like, every one of his bases has almost max larva. I mean, 14, 16, 19, and 19. He could really just pump units into his opponent's base until he wins. He could literally probably go Hydralisk and win against Roaches right now, without a question, because he just has an absolutely better economy, an absolutely better bank, an absolutely better stock of larva, and it would just be a little bit of a slaughter. It looks like Grooved Spines are currently on the way, along with Muscular Augments. So we are going to see some play out of Hydralisks most certainly this game, but I'm not sure how effective they are going to be. It looks like Malakek finally went for the right job against Swarm hosts. Fungal does an amazing job against the Locust, and there is the burrow on the Swarm hosts, and these Locusts are going to be interesting. It looks like they are not actually attacking all at once. Instead, they're just opting to kind of stream in. And ShadowWraith should probably send all of his Locusts in if he's gonna have Locusts. I mean, he should probably rally point all of his. Oh, there we go. All right, he has all of his Swarm hosts rallied now, and there goes a ton of Locusts. They are ready to take down this team of Roaches. And here we do have the engagement now. Of course, since they're Locusts, I can't really yell all that much about this engagement because they don't do a lot of damage, and B, they aren't that scary. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm surprised to have not seen a Fungal Growth go down yet, because Fungal Growths are going to do a lot of damage to a Locust composition like this, and it looks like he literally just wanted to lose every one of his Infestors. I have no idea why he didn't attack with his Nidus Swarm there. I mean, like, he had, like, a solid 10-15 minutes where he could have attacked with the Nidus Swarm and been perfectly fine, and he just didn't choose to. I mean, I'm especially surprised he didn't decide to put a Nidus Swarm like here and then just attack the front. I can kind of get not putting one in your opponent's enemy's base, because that's a little bit awkward, but now with so many Swarm hosts just literally sitting outside his base, I don't think there's going to be a lot of ways for Malakek to win this game. And I know I sounded pretty hateful about Swarm hosts earlier, and now they're kind of winning, but it's not the Swarm hosts that are winning. ShadowWraith basically could have gone for any unit this game and won. He could have gone solid Zerglings and won, because he just has so much more economy. Like, his army value during that last fight was ridiculously skewed in favor of himself. I mean, it's a little bit absurd this game. And with so many Locusts now, it's just going to be an absolute crush. And Locusts do a ton of damage, 14 damage a shot. Ugh. It's a little bit scary. Maybe Swarm hosts are better than I thought they were, but I'm still pretty confident in my accession. I don't care. In my accession of the fact that they are just not going to be used in ZVZ that much, purely because of how immobile they are. It looks like we are going to see an Ultralisk Cavern on the way for Malakek. Don't know what he plans on doing at this point. I mean, he's dead. ShadowWraith is basically just kind of playing with his food right now. There's not a lot else to say. I mean, this is This is a one-sided just smash fest for our green Zerg player at this point. Or not green, what the hell? Am I colorblind? No, our blue Zerg player. Who am I? God damn. So, instead of, just trying to commentate a game that's over, I'm instead going to launch right into my closing announcements and Malakek. No, it's not Malakek. That's a lot of swarm hosts. It's a lot of swarm hosts. It's a lot of bases. You got all the bases. So anyway, as far as announcements go, I am going to be part of the URTL, the Underrated Team League. And there will be a link down in the description below for the website and for everything like that. The first broadcast is going to be on the 22nd. I am actually not going to be part of it, but you guys can watch the drafting phase where, we get to see all of the teams get drafted into various different leagues that they will then play in for the entirety of the season. I think it's going to be really awesome. That's because they have 65 health. All right. You know what? Malakek was kind of pointlessly angry there. Let's be honest. And there we go. The game finally ends about 5 minutes late, but I hope you guys stuck through it Stuck through it to me. What the hell? What is wrong with me? I am getting all of my phrasing wrong today. I mean, god damn it. All right, so anyway, guys, if you want your games commentated, you can send them on into boisteroussc2@gmail.com. Also, if you'd like to watch more Boisterous action, you can head over to youtube.com/user/boisteroussc2. I just voice cracked a little bit, but that is A-okay because this is Boisterous, signing out.